My secondment has been absolutely wonderful. I see two main outcomes coming from it. So first of all, the research part. I've met so many experts within the field of neurodiversity. And with neurodiversity, I mean, how do we help students to succeed in their studies? How do we help students to get into higher education? How do we support them in a way that the environment is right for them to focus on their studies, recover from the studies, and actually graduate on time? And then even further, how do we help students to find jobs, get employed? And sometimes when we think about processes like recruitment, are we filtering out certain students with certain disabilities or differences? So these are the kind of practices and activities that have already been implemented in some of the major Australian universities like RMIT University, Monash, La Trobe, which I got in touch with during my secondment. And we found some research gaps there. There are a lot of support activities, but they are usually used for a certain group of students. So we saw that we haven't really investigated the impact of these activities. To whom do we direct them to? Is it for a certain group of students or all of the students who go to higher education? So we found some new project ideas. We are actually waiting funding decisions for different applications. And when did I come back from my secondment? Like a few weeks ago, and all this has been happening on the go. So that's the research part. But what I also see very important as the second outcome of my secondment is the transfer of knowledge between institutions. So not only gaining competences, but also we have been able to adopt those proven practices, and now we are implementing them as we're speaking in our institutions. So we have a plan for the next school term. I've booked already three neurodivergent study sessions and one additional online. And then I also got to know a sensory space at the Swanstons Library in RMIT University. I actually went to the opening of that and met a lot of wonderful people. So from that idea, we have now generated a similar kind of project that is starting in our university environment on the next school term. So I think those are very valuable outcomes, and everything happened very quickly. This secondment has also been a personal journey for me. On the first hand, career-wise, I got a whole new focus on direction and excitement to my researcher career. So now I really know what I want to do, because I've met other people who are interested in the same topic as I am, and we can do a lot of things together. So it has given a boost to my career. But also, when I'm thinking about my personal life in terms of work-life balance, which was actually the topic of my PhD thesis as well. So my secondment wouldn't have been possible without bringing my family along. I'm a mother of several small children, so they couldn't have been without mum for that long. So how we did then as a family, we sat down and thought, how do we make this secondment meaningful for all of our family members? And we were 8 that came to Australia. I have 5 minor children. Obviously, my second half came, and our adult son. And the trip had to bring some purpose to all of us. Whether it was learning English, whether it was getting to know an Australian school, spending a day in an Australian school. For my teenager girl, it was about developing her skating skills. We ended up finding a skating rink in Melbourne and got hold of a tutor who was actually an Australian champion, and she was training my daughter for that period. So once we were able to identify a goal for each of us, I could then start looking at some funding opportunities. And we actually got some funding opportunities for the children activities. And why? Because we are bringing those experiences back to Finland and back to our institutions. And we know from research that early exposure to cultures and international environments also contribute to later interpersonal and diplomatic skills. And we know that those are very important of thinking of the world, current situation and our future. My secondment was part of the work package 1 and all about competence development and really a transition of knowledge between institutions. So I had the opportunity to benchmark some of the innovations that have already been proven and implemented in major Australian universities like RMIT University. Whilst I was in Australia, I was all the time having a conversation with the stakeholders in my institution and also local companies that provide aid for students with disabilities and also with the third sector, such as healthcare and associations. And it has created a great deal of interest. It's just the right time because we are doing what Australia already has done in the major universities. So having to bring those innovations into our environment has been very valuable. And we actually have a concrete plan of implementing those good practices and activities for our students, and hopefully because when I went back, I've been presenting my findings, the benchmarks I've did to many institutions, not only my own university but other stakeholders from other universities. So hopefully we can make an impact to a lot of our higher education environments. I'm very grateful for this experience. I'm amazed myself how far we've actually come with the activities and concrete actions. They would have never been possible without the secondment. So I think it's great that European Commission is giving this chance for us educators and researchers to share knowledge. I have been able to connect with researchers, subject matter experts, local companies, and even student representatives who are working with helping other students to succeed. I think a lot of these outcomes from the secondment are still to come in the future, and I look forward to similar opportunities to drive future change.